The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100 and get $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Monday, January 9th, currently 11:13 on the East Coast. Here to recap the action from the weekend and the association and get into the betting card for the Monday night schedule in the NBA. But joining me here to help me break it all down, you guys know him as the superstar of the show, the villain. It's Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, how you feeling, my man?
Oh, I'm feeling great. We have the last day of the college football season today. College basketball is ramping up. The NBA's coming towards the All-Star break. You got trade deadline, everything. What's going on? But we have to talk, and we got to talk about it. Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is injured again. It may be nothing serious, but that is a huge blow to a Nets team that was clicking on all cylinders. And at this point, do they look like the best team in the league right now?
I think they do. I mean, it's hard to make it. I think them and Denver would probably be my two picks right now for them to at least in
I'm
each
not
conference.
A believer in Denver, but I'm not a believer in Denver. But yeah, I understand why you would say that.
Yeah. Haven't got any news yet. I know he didn't return to the game yesterday, but Nets did squeak out the victory down in South Beach. But hopefully it's more positive news for Kevin Durant. That's not a serious injury, but yeah, something definitely to monitor here, Terrell.
Yeah, no. It just, you hate to see it, especially with how the Nets are playing ball right now and the fact that they have completely turned their season around. Completely turned their season around. You see where they and the Lakers were pretty much in the same spot about, what is that, over a month and a half, 2 months ago, in about the same spot. And they've worked their way up all the way to, a 2 seed in the East?
Yeah, one game back of number one.
Yeah, and then you look at the Lakers, who are trending better nowadays, and they're working their way up. So a huge leap that I think they have the best record still since Jacques Vaughn took over. So that's really big on that side of the bracket right there. That there's a couple of teams that you can sit here and say that deserve future money in the futures market on championship.
Yeah, Nets, like you mentioned, when once they got rid of Steve Nash and Jacques Vaughn did take over, this team has just flipped the switch. They've looked really good. They've climbed all the way up to the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. They're 13-5 on their home floor, 14-8 on the road, 5-2 within the division, and they're 20-7 against conference opponents, and 9-1 over their last 10 games. They had that stretch where I think they won like 12, 13 in a row before Chicago beat them. But yeah, the bigger news, like you mentioned there, Terrell, is what's going to be the news and status of Kevin Durant after he left the game last night with a knee injury for the Brooklyn Nets and Lakers. So, I mean, we could touch on it. They've won 5 games in a row here. They're now sitting 2 games under 500. They're half a game out of that play-in bracket tournament, just half a game behind the Portland Trail Blazers. They did pick up a victory over the weekend. They do have a big game here tonight.
They beat the Kings as an 8-point dog. Very good win on the road there.
Yeah, that was a shootout. That was defense was definitely optional in that game between the Kings and the Lakers. But yeah, they have a big game here tonight against one of the number 1 seeds in the Western Conference here. We'll get into that game later on in the podcast against the Denver Nuggets. Terrell, anything else we need to mention before we get into the games for Monday night?
What else happened over the weekend? It's a rather long weekend. The Jazz still covered as a dog against the Bulls. That was not against the Bulls. It was last night against the Grizzlies. They still covered as a dog. They actually did not cover that game against the Bulls.
Yeah. Laurie Markkinen, man. Laurie Bird. He's just been on a tear, man. There's no better way to put it. just carrying this team right now. I know Jordan Clarkson and some of the other guys are chipping in, but he has just been on a tear for the Utah Jazz team. Had that big poster against his former team, the Chicago Bulls, the other night. I think it was Friday night. But
Mm-hmm.
on the season right now here, Terrell, he's averaging 24 and a half points per game. Which ranks number 18 in the league, 8.3 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
And he's knocking down the 3-point shot at a consistent basis as well. He's fallen off a little bit. He's regressed a little bit in the month of January, but so far this month, at least in 4 games, he's averaging 31 and a half points for the Utah Jazz. So I think we got to give our flowers to Laurie Bird.
Yeah, he's been balling. Another team I want to talk about really quick is the
Yeah.
Clippers, man. Clippers 6-game losing streak right now. I believe it's up to 6 games.
Let me check here. I know they took the L last night against the
Hawks.
Hawks.
Yeah, that moves it to 6 games. That's a six
Yep.
game losing streak. Doesn't matter if it was on the road or at home. They lost the game.
Yeah.
Any I don't know what to make of this Clippers team. I don't know what to make of this Clippers team.
It's difficult, man. I mean, I think we talked about this when the season started, right? If this team, I mean, health was obviously a big question mark of them, right? Because Kawhi was coming back from the injury. Paul George, we know he's been injury prone and he's been in and out of the lineup, missing time, whether it's been lower leg injury, whether it's been a hamstring, whatever the case might have been with Paul George. But this we talked about, or at least I believe that they were one of the deepest teams in the NBA when healthy, right? But now when they've lost 6 games in a row here, Paul George hasn't been in the lineup. Kawhi Leonard last night, I think, played a definitely season high of 38 minutes. He's probably going to miss the rest of the month because he played 38 minutes last night. But I don't know that you're right. I mean, it's more question marks than answers right now for this Clippers team. And right now, the two teams that have kind of separated themselves in that Western Conference have been the Memphis Grizzlies and the Denver Nuggets. And, teams like the Clippers and, the Jazz have obviously fallen off. Portland, they look really good. They've fallen off a little bit. They've fallen below 500. So I don't know. For this Clippers team, it's always a health concern, right? You always got to check the injury report and see who's playing and who's not playing for this team.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. And it looks like we're getting to the same situation, or we're going to get the excuses that we got in the bubble where they said, oh, we didn't have the chemistry playing together, because you don't play together. You don't play together for an entire season. You go entire season without playing your whole roster together once, and then you expect to play well in the playoffs. So I don't know. I don't understand the philosophy of this team. And I get that they're saying, hey, we're going to scratch and claw our way, and we're just trying to get to the playoffs, and we're going to play everybody there. If you get there at this point, because the West is stacked and you're 500.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you're not going to play anybody, you liable not to get there. You didn't get there last year.
Yeah.
You got bounced in the playing round last year. You're sitting here at 6, and you're honestly 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all 500.
Yeah.
No, I lied. It's only 6 and 7. 8 and 9 are one loss. But still, you get the point.
They're separated by half a game.
Yeah, half a game. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
If you had to push the panic button right now, which team would you push it for? Is it the Clippers or the Phoenix Suns?
I got to say the Clippers, because at least I know that when Devin Booker comes back, the Phoenix Suns will the very least, be a playoff team. Really a playoff team. At the very least, when Devin Booker comes back, he's that much of a needle mover for that team that when he comes back, they are a playoff team. But I can't accept. Do I say when Kawhi comes back? I don't know when Kawhi comes back. I don't know when he plays. I sit here and I stumble, and I actually just happen to look across my phone, and Underdog comes on my phone and says Kawhi Leonard is in today. And I'm like, oh, okay, good news. But I don't know when he plays. I don't know when he's not playing. So it's not like an AD situation with the Lakers where this man leaves for extended periods of time. When AD plays, he actually plays. But these guys don't play. Like, that is the ultimate thing of the ball. They do not play.
Yeah, look, Kawhi, at least in the month of December he played on the 1, 2, 3. He played some heavy minutes, right? He played 34, 35, 37, 35. I know back on January 5th against the Denver Nuggets, they pretty much, that game was over before it even started. He only played 18 minutes, but I was watching this game last night between the Clippers and the Hawks, and I was surprised to see him out there for the amount of minutes that he was out there, thinking that he was still only playing about 25 to 30 minutes. But now I kind of look at that, he's been putting in the minutes. So He still looks a little rusty to me, obviously, when you've missed the amount of time that Kawhi has missed. So it might take a little bit more for him to get his, legs back under him and really, I don't know.
But I can't. Do we even trust that, Munaf? Like,
We don't. I
can we
don't.
even
You're right.
trust? How do you get your legs under you when you play maximum half of the games available? Matter of fact, I think the total is like he's played 20 games of the
42 they've
30.
played so far.
He's played 18 games, started 16 of the 42 games.
Yeah.
So that's not even half. That's not even half. He hasn't.
Yeah.
We're halfway. We're literally halfway through the season, and he's played in less than half of their games.
Yeah.
And that's their best player. And I would feel a lot better, but Paul George has only played in
30, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what to make of this team. And then don't get me started on the rest of the team because they have injury issues too. We just don't talk about them because they at least go out there and play every other day. Like I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the second half of the season, but I'm not a backer of the Clippers. I think that at this point, can you even blow it up?
I don't think you can.
You have no picks.
Yeah.
You gambled everything on these two players. You gambled everything on two players. Now you have to literally just make it do what it do for the next few years because you have no other option. Like you have to just have this identity of a team of we're not going to care about the regular season. Let's see if we make the playoffs. If we make the playoffs, we should be in a better spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we just talked about two superstars, but you're right. The rest of the roster has questions of injuries too, right? They brought in John Wall, who was supposed to be I don't know, maybe the starter, but a guy that could bring off the bench, but he's only played in 32 games this season. He started 3 games. He doesn't play a lot of minutes either for this team, right? He's only averaging about 22 per game. For the Los Angeles Clippers. Same thing, Luke Kennard, a guy that's been in and out of the lineup for them, supposed to be their best shooter. He's only played in 29 games this season, started 8 of them, and I think those 8 starts were when either Kawhi or Paul George were sitting. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think of this team. On paper, when we looked at it, that if healthy, this would be one of the deepest rosters in the NBA. At least I thought so, but health is always a concern, and I don't know how to. This is a team that you probably avoid betting when they're playing just because you don't know who's going to be in the starting lineup and who's not going to be in the starting lineup or who's even playing for that night for the matter.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me. I don't understand.
All right, before we get into the games here for the Monday night schedule in the NBA, let me tell you guys about our presenting sponsor. That is WynnBET. WynnBET is the official online sportsbook of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. WynnBET is active in a bunch of states, and there are a ton of ways to win, including live betting and same-game parlays. The NFL playoffs are here. Great promos, odds, and payouts are happening right now at WynnBET. And if you're ready to play, sign up today to receive a special offer. Bet 100, get 100. Limited state availability. There's so much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET so they know that we sent you. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at wynnbet.com. Must be 21 years or older and present in a state where playthrough WynnBET is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. At Underdog, the season never ends. Right now, you can play their fantasy football playoff best ball, the gauntlet, with $1 million in prizes up for grabs. Plus, they also have a ton of daily games for the NBA and the NHL. Plus, when you use promo code SGPN at UnderdogFantasy.com, you get a 100% deposit match of up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. All right, Terrell, let's get into this schedule here tonight for the association. We'll start it off with the first game here in the nation's capital. The New Orleans Pelicans headed to D.C. to take on the Wizards here. Looking at the opening lines for this game, this line opened up in favor of the Washington Wizards with a line of... My screen just went blank on me. There we go. -1.5 for the Wizards. That number has pretty much stayed the course over at WynnBET. It's currently seeing that number at -1. Total is at 228 for this game. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, to start here with the Pelicans, they will be without 2 of their top 3 guys. Brandon Ingram is continuing to deal with that toe injury. We know Zion's going to miss a couple weeks here with a hamstring injury. And Larry Nance Jr. is probable tonight for the Pelicans. For the Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal is out tonight with a left hamstring strain. Let's see. That is pretty much the only significant injury. Johnny Davis is also on the injury report. He has a right hip strain for the Washington Wizards. Terrell, let's start with the side here, my man. -1 for the Wizards hosting the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah. For me, I think it really comes down to the fact that I can't even say these teams are going in different directions because the Wizards been an up and down team already. It's just that the Pelicans are going through a little bit rush stretch right now. They lost 4 of their last 5. They haven't covered 4 of their last 5. And they're sitting here looking at a road record on the road 7-11 against the spread, 7-11 straight up. And then you have a Washington team that isn't really that good at home either. Like they don't really have a home court identity. 7-10 against the spread at home, 10-7 straight up. So they have been able to win games, not win them by the margin. With this number being so close, though, I think that what makes New Orleans so good is the fact of what they're doing without their 2 best players out. And even though they're losing some of these games, they are competitive. Like they were competitive in that game against the Nets. You got the Nets coming in on fire. They were competitive all the way in that game. They were, up and down in that game in Dallas. That was a back-to-back, so you really didn't expect too much. But they were competitive against Philly. I think that this is a spot where I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to back the Pelicans, even though they look down, just from what I see from the eye test. And I see this team is really good. Plus, we talk about the 2 players that are out. We don't talk about them, and they still have their 3 best defenders.
Yeah,
which is Herb Jones, Jose Alvarado, and Dyson Daniels. So they still have their 3 best defenders, and I think that really can give a lot of teams problems. And as soon as they figure out their scoring and how they're going to be able to score the basketball, because you can't lean on Najee Marshall every night. Najee Marshall had a good game the other day, but you can't lean on him every single night.
Yeah.
CJ is going to have to get it done. He's going to have to find ways to keep Trey Murphy active and keep Trey Murphy going. And once they find ways to consistently score the ball, then I think that they'll be in and be able to win a lot more of these games because their defense is not bad. So I'm going to lean Pelicans here just because I think that they're a better team than the Wizards, even with no Zion, no BI. But I think my better play is on the under. The under feels like the play for me. The defense of the Pelicans has been solid. The Wizards defense has been sneakily a top 10 defense all year long. They've been able to hold teams to a low number. I think that this could be a bar burner of a game and just really slow in terms of pace, defense get active in the half court, and this is a fun one. So, yeah, I will take an under in this one. I don't think you're going to see a lot of points, but on the side, give me the Pelicans.
Yeah, I think that if the Pelicans are going to win games without their top 2 guys, with BI and Zion, that it's going to have to be on the defensive side of the basketball for them. Washington at home defensively has been respectable over the last 10 games, where they rank number 11 as far as defensive rating. On the road so far this year, the Pelicans, over the last 10 games on the road, Pelicans, let's see here, where are they? They're number 13. So they've been good. So I think that, I agree with you about that. The Pelicans are going to win games. It's going to have to be with their guys clamping down on defense. You can't get into a shootout with, teams without Zion and Brandon Ingram. So for me, I agree about the under here with you as well. God, if you put a gun to my head, I'd probably go Pelicans. Definitely not going to be betting this game, but I think definitely with the line where it's at right now, the books are expecting this to come down to the wire. So I think the Pelicans can sneak one out here. I'll go with you on the +1 here. Player props in this game here, Toronto. We talked about, or mentioned CJ McCollum's name. I should mention this, that obviously without BI and Ingram, BI and Zion in the lineup, he's really had to step up the scoring. He scored 26 or more points in 4 of the last 5 games. He's knocking down 3-point shots here as well. But I think this might be a Trey Murphy game where the Wizards do allow 36% shooting from 3-point land. So I think that this might be an opportunity to maybe get on some Trey Murphy. 3-point props, or even look at CJ McCollum assist in this game here. But do you any player props you like?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on CJ's assist and his points. I kind of like CJ props going forward because again, this team has to be tired of losing. Like they don't want this stretch of Zion and BI to be out to really tank their season. This is a team that can chase the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Like they have a viable claim to the 1 seed, especially when fully healthy. You just got to get through these stretches. So I think CJ can drag the team through that, especially when there's nobody individually on the other side of the ball that I think can guard him. Whereas on the other side, I do like Kristaps Porzingis just because I do think that he is kind of a little bit of a matchup nightmare for this team with his size and length and ability to move. I think that Captain Saint was talking about double. I think that that's a pretty decent nod at plus 135. But I like his points prop. I think that he can go over his points prop in this game and be somebody that the Wizards can lean on for the scoring.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to get my thoughts here. Porzingis, yeah, I mean, look, he's been pretty consistent this season for the Wizards, whether it's rebounding the basketball, whether it's been scoring the basketball. I think there's some advantage that they do have inside that. Let's just say Nurkic does get in some foul trouble here tonight, trying to contain Porzingis. I think there's a good opportunity that, he can get a double-double here tonight. I'm trying to see how he's done against the Blazers in his career. Has Porzingis? Let's see here. He hasn't recorded a double-double in his career against the Blazers, even when he was with Dallas and New York way back when. But, it's a different season. Things can happen. He's gotten close. He's had rebounds of 9, 8, 8. He's gotten the points for sure. But at plus 135, at plus money, I don't hate it. Anything else for this game, Terrell?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, let's get over to the next game of the night. That's going to be Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks headed to the Big Apple, Madison Square Garden, to take on the New York Knicks. This line opened up in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks at -2.5. That number has now been bet to minus. Let's see, it's actually down to a pick'em here over on WinBet. Money line is -110 both ways. Total is currently sitting at 222 in this game. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Milwaukee Bucks, Serge Ibaka and Chris Middleton are going to be out for this game. For the New York Knicks, RJ Barrett is officially doubtful for tonight with the injury that he's dealing with his finger. But everybody else is a go in this game for the New York Knicks. Terrell, let's start with the side here. Let's call it a pick'em right now between these two teams, the Milwaukee Bucks and the New York Knicks. What do you like about this game?
Okay. I understand why the line has come down because it was Milwaukee -3. I think you said that.
Yeah. Open up -2, -2.5, -3. We're now down to pick around, at least on WinBet.
I understand why the lines come down because this team, the Milwaukee Bucks, has been really, well, I wouldn't say really bad, but they've struggled as of late. And that last game where they got blew out by basically 30 points to Charlotte at home is not a good indicator at all. But I'm still going Bucks here. I understand they're 7-11, 6-11-1 on the road ATS, but you got to understand this is Madison Square Garden. The Knicks just haven't been able to win by margin in the Garden. Like they have not been able to do that. They haven't been able to cover the spread. They're 10-10 straight up. So it's not like that they're going out there and at least winning the games. They're not covering the spread. They're not winning all of the games. And so I think that this is a pretty good spot, just more of a bounce back spot for Milwaukee. Laying a couple of points, I really wasn't too much on this play. I didn't look at it. But now that I'm getting this basically at a pick, some places I can get even money.
Yeah.
And it's still Giannis. I don't think that the Knicks have anything to slow down Giannis. And so it's just more of can the rest of the team step up in a road spot? And I think that they can, especially in Madison Square Garden, like this atmosphere. So both the defenses are on and locked in these games. These are two top 5 defenses, top 10 defenses in the league, something like that. And it's kind of leaning me to an under.
Okay.
But I want to hear your thoughts. But I just think that Milwaukee has too much size and length for the Knicks and too quick. And now you're going to be depending on a bunch of players that that pop. I keep saying pop, but Tibbs doesn't really like to play. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't like to play Jericho Sims. He's kind of shown that he doesn't like to play Jericho Sim, Hartstein like together. He doesn't like to play them together. He likes to play one or the other, typically in games. So it's like you'll see Mitchell Robinson, you'll see Hartstein, or you'll see Mitchell Robinson, you'll see Sims. You typically won't see them in the game. And going up against Giannis, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, like you're gonna need to see more size on that court.
Yeah, the Bucks have won 5 straight regular season matchups against the New York Knicks. They did match up back on November 30th in New York. Bucks got that victory 109-103. I want to see who was playing in that game. So it was Giannis. Giannis had a monster game as usual. Drew Holiday did play in that game as well. Brook Lopez, Javon Carter, and Grayson Allen. Also had Bobby Portis come off the bench and get a double-double for the Milwaukee Bucks in that game. I think for me is that I love the Bucks here. Uh, One of the things was that I did not see the name of Drew Holiday on the injury report, so he is going to be playing in this game. So that's only going to help the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think that
Be
he
able to
can
contain Brunson.
exactly. So, and that's the one thing for me is that with Jalen or sorry with Drew Holiday out there, that he's going to be able to slow down Jalen Brunson, who's been playing real well in the absence of RJ Barrett. Like I mentioned, RJ Barrett is doubtful here tonight, so a lot of the scoring responsibility then will fall on a guy like Julius Randle or guys like Quentin Grimes to knock down 3-point shots for you. But I think that the Bucks defense, like you mentioned, that they're going to be locked into this game. So I think that if Drew Holiday is able to slow down Brunson, I don't trust Julius Randle to carry the team despite him having a pretty good season this far. They have different bodies that they can throw at Julius Randle, whether it's Giannis, whether it's, Brook Lopez out there, whether it's, Bobby Portis getting minutes off the bench. So I think that's the tipping scale for me. And again, Giannis has just been a monster against this Knicks team over the last, at least look at his stats. I mean, against this Knicks team in his career, he's done really good. But at least over the last 3 games, here, Terrell, 37-13 earlier this season, or they've
Yep.
already matched up twice this season. 37-13, 30-14, and 38-13 for Giannis against this Knicks team. And this is already the third matchup between these two teams this season. And Bucks have won both of those. Like I mentioned, they won in New York on November 30th, 109-103. And then the other game, let me see. I know that was probably in Milwaukee. Let me pull it up here quick. So that game, the Bucks also won 108. Sorry, 119-108. So they've covered the spread, obviously, and won both of those games straight up. So I'm gonna go with Milwaukee here. I think Giannis obviously has another big game, but I also do like Bobby Portis. That those props aren't out yet, but I think that he's more than capable of getting a double double against this New York Knicks team. You did say you mentioned Terrell that you like the under in this game.
Yeah, I like the under. I
Yeah,
think that
makes sense.
just you got to think of one. The Knicks are playing a lot better defense, and even they held the Bucks in the low totals in that game. I think you said one of those games was 108 for the Bucks. The other one's 119.
Yeah.
Like the 119. Okay, all right, but it's still the Bucks. You expect the Bucks to get into a smooth 120 somewhere like that
Mm-hmm.
on most good years that they are offensively. So now you add Grimes into the lineup, and Grimes is getting, I don't even know if he was getting a bunch of minutes in those games, but now he's cemented a starter. Like he cemented his place as a starter. He cemented his place as one of the better defenders on this team. And I think that he's going to add to making it hard for Drew Holiday, making it hard for those other guards, the Grayson Allens, to get off and get to his spot. Like I think Grimes is going to add to that. And so defensively, I think both of these teams could be on. And when we talk about player props, I like Grimes over 3-pointers. I think that he is an added bonus with the extra minutes that he's getting. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that he can shoot the ball from the outside, play both sides, a two-way player. He can shoot the ball from the outside. I'm not really and then all the attention that is going to be given to Jalen Brunson by Drew Holiday. Like Drew
Yeah.
Holiday is not paying Grimes attention. Like that's going to be Jalen Brunson's matchup. He's going to stick to Jalen Brunson like Drew. So that opens up opportunity for not for Grimes on the outside. So yeah, I like Grimes over 3-pointers made in this one. I know Milwaukee's a tough team against the three, but I
Mm-hmm.
think that Grimes can get open and be able to hit, what is it, 2.5 probably?
Let's see. Quentin Grimes. Yeah, it's at 2.5 plus 115. So you get plus odds on that player prop.
Yeah, if I'm getting plus money for a guy that's going to be on the court the entire time because he's going to have to guard Drew Holiday, I think
Yeah.
that I like my chances.
Yeah, that's a great point. And both Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson have struggled in both of those matchups earlier this season against the Milwaukee Bucks. And also, I should point out here, Terrell, that RJ Barrett did play in both of those games against the Bucks earlier this season. He had games of 26 and 20. So, not having him in this game against the Bucks, where he's had some success against his team, I think that's going to be a blow here to the New York Knicks. So, yeah, this might be an ugly game, like a 107, 99, 100 type of final.
Hopefully it's not a quickly game. If it's not a quickly game, this is going under. Because we know that quickly can either go perfect from the field or he can go 20% from the field. Like we're only getting one or the other. So it depends on if it's a quickly game. And I'm just gonna go ahead and go on the fact that he's probably gonna have a bad shooting percentage this game. That's my guy. He's him for sure. Mario quickly is him. He's just not efficient.
I'm saying Giannis's rebounds at 11.5. I like the over on that. He's had 13 or more in 4 of the last 5 games against the New York Knicks, 15, 10, 13, 14, and 13. And again, 2 matchups earlier this season, 13 rebounds and 14 rebounds to go along with 37 and 30 points for Giannis against the Knicks. So I think that's one player prop I do like here for tonight. We'll also wait for some Bobby Portis. That would be probably closer to game time because he is coming off the bench.
I would play Bobby Portis rebounds. I don't trust Tibbs to make the adjustment of playing Hartenstein and Sims more. And he's going to need to play them more in this game. But I think that's going to throw him off in his rotations and how he likes to play those lineups. So I don't think he'll make the adjustment of having a pretty good split between Robinson, Hartenstein, and Sims. I don't think he's going to make that adjustment.
Both of those games earlier this season, Bobby Portis, 25 minutes each, 12 points, 12 rebounds in one. The other game, 10 points and 12 rebounds as well. So
yeah,
got to write that one down.
I'm big on Bobby Portis today for sure.
Yep, love it. Anything else for this game, Terrell?
No, let's move it.
All right, let's keep it moving here. All right, next game on the schedule, we have let's go over to Boston. Chicago is headed to the Beantown to take on the Boston Celtics. Looking at the lines for this game, the opening line is, let's see here, -8 in favor of the Boston Celtics. That number has now moved -8.5 at most books. Total opened up at 237. That number has pretty much stayed the course. Over at WinBet is at 236.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, start with the road team here, the Chicago Bulls. 2 questionable tags here tonight for a couple rotation players. That's going to be Alex Caruso. He's dealing with a right ankle sprain, and then Javonte Green is also questionable here tonight. He's dealing with a right knee soreness. So definitely look out for those 2 names as we get closer to game time here for the Chicago Bulls. For the Boston Celtics, pretty clean injury report. One name that is doubtful tonight is going to be Marcus Smart. He's going to be missing this game. He's officially listed as doubtful for tonight with a left knee contusion. Terrell, let's start with the side here. We'll work our way to the total and then the player props as usual. -8.5 in favor of the Boston Celtics. What do you like about this game?
I mean, are you comfortable with Boston laying this number?
I'm not. And actually, Chicago has done really well against team above, at least against the spread that teams are above 500.
Yes, no, it's night and day difference from last year, like complete difference. Last year, they couldn't buy a game against a good team. Couldn't buy a game. Now they're over there, and I think they're like 7-1 at this point. It's like 6-1, 7-1 at this point with the top 3 teams in the East, top 4 teams in the East or something like that. Like they're playing them pretty well. Cleveland has been the one thorn in their side, and that's because Donovan Mitchell went in one game and put up 70 points. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm sitting here.
I'll mention.
I have to go. I have to go Chicago. Like it sounds like we have to go Chicago here. Why is Boston laying 8?
Yeah, and when I was looking at some of the stats for this game, I think that one thing that did kind of stick out is Chicago is not a very good team defending the 3-point line. They're, I think, bottom 3, right down with like the Rockets and the Minnesota Timberwolves have not been very good at defending the 3-point line. And we know, I mean, early in the season, like the Boston Celtics were just firing off 3-pointers like it was nobody's business, and they were actually hitting them. Maybe the past couple of weeks where they've kind of regressed a little bit, where they've lost some games, is kind of where it's been the difference. But it seems like 8 is a big number, especially how the Chicago has been playing against, some of the better teams in the association so far this season.
Yeah, they've been good. Like, they've been good. They've absolutely turned it around from the point where I said I'm going to stop taking them. And unfortunately, I have to go against my rule. I got to take one of these teams, but I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take the points with Chicago. Chicago's played the better teams. They've actually shown up, and it seems like Boston's going through a short spot right now. And now you're missing the reigning defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart, in this game.
Mm-hmm.
This game was a track meet boat last time out. And what was it? I remember it because they scored a whole bunch of points and everybody went over their points total. It was 120-102. It was 120.
We had 123, 119 in Boston, and then we had 121. Yeah, 121, 107 in Chicago. So Chicago has won one straight up, and they've covered both of the spreads.
I was about to say they didn't even cover this number last time in Boston. Yeah. Like last time in Boston, they didn't cover this number. Why is the number here, and why is it going up? Why is there that's not showing? We got to take Boston, man. We got to take Boston. There's no point. Why is the line going up and everybody's betting Chicago? Like, why is this line 8? It truly doesn't make sense. And the fact that it's up to 8.5, like that truly makes no sense. At this point, they're telling you that Boston's probably going to be the play at this point. Because why is the line going up? I didn't even notice that, so I just looked at it. The line is going up, and everybody's betting Chicago at this point.
Yeah, I'm taking a look here. Chicago against teams. And this is probably not going to help because I don't have the ATS numbers, just straight up numbers. 12-12 against team above 500. 7-9 against teams that are below 500. But again, I'll be curious to see what the ATS numbers are for Chicago in that span. But yeah, I think the one thing that does worry me is that Chicago's 3-point defense isn't very good. Where this might be a game where like Tatum and Malcolm Brogdon. You're
going to have more Derek White in this game. Derek White's going to be, let's just take a flyer on Derek White 5 threes. Let's take a flyer on it. I mean, you sit here, you're probably not going to have Alex Caruso. So it's going to be what? Desomu and what's
Derek Jones?
Name? No, the freaking dunk champ. Levine. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. I don't know. It's like the second biggest person on the squad. I can't remember his freaking name. Yes, you have Levine and you have Desomu out there. You're not really afraid of those guys defensively. They don't really tickle your fancy at all. So, let's take a stab at it. Derek White over threes. Derek White 5+ threes. Yeah, he should have a pretty decent game assist. I see somebody asking about his assist. He's gonna have the ball in his hands. I think I would probably back Tatum more. Yeah, I know for a fact Tatum's gonna have the ball in his hands, and they're probably gonna bring a double. They're gonna find any way to get the ball out of his hand. So I probably would back Tatum's assist more, but Chicago could. This is probably not even their fault. Like, if they don't cover this line, it's probably not even their fault. It's just the fact that the reverse line movement meant that Boston was going to somehow, some way cover the spread because Chicago's been playing better basketball recently.
So do we think that Brogdon gets a start in place of Smart if he's not playing tonight since he is doubtful?
I would think it's White. I think they cemented Brogdon into that role of coming off the bench. Yeah. Let me see if I can find the last game that Smart missed, but I think that they committed him to that 6-man role, and they're saying that, hey, even I know he's out, but we're just going to move White up, and we're going to keep you in your role. We don't want to mess up what we're going to be doing off the bench.
So if I'm reading this correctly, they've already played 3 times this season. Let me double check that. Let's see. Chicago. Okay, so Boston. So they played back on October 24th, the 4th game of the season. Chicago won that game 120-102. And then like the other 2 games that I mentioned where Chicago won 121-107, and then they lost that game in Boston by 4. So far this season, the Chicago Bulls 2-1 straight up, 3-0 against the spread, if I'm not mistaken, against the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
And also Malcolm Brogdon in the 2 previous games in November, he had 23 points and 25 points. And one of those games he had 5 threes.
Makes sense. Let me see here. So last time that Marcus Smart was out was December 21st. They had a starting lineup of Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown.
Okay.
And Brogdon played, still came off the bench. Had his regular, he had 18 in that game. So looks
How
like
many minutes did he play?
he played 29, played more minutes for sure.
Yeah.
13 shot attempts. So he's going to get the usage. 2 for 7 from 3. He wasn't effective in this game. It was against Indiana, if anybody wanted to know. But he got the usage. Last time before that was November in a game against the Pelicans. And lineup was Derek White, Grant Williams, Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown. Brogdon played, still came off the bench, 18 minutes in that one. Had 1 for 8 from the field. Not really effective in there. I think that's closer to the time where he just came back, though.
Yeah, I don't trust his perimeter defense of the Bulls, like you mentioned. With Gisomo, yeah, he's a pretty good defender, but Zach LaVine doesn't play any defense, so
yeah,
I might get behind the Derek White one, and I also like Malcolm Brogdon points in this game here as well.
All right,
you got anything else?
Man, what's that total sitting at?
It's a high total, man. It's at 235.5.
I see 236.
Yeah. They've only gone over this number once, which was the shootout. 119, 123. I think that was the game where DeMar DeRozan had 46 for the Bulls, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that.
And I'm kind of want to lean under because now you have Robert Williams in this game as well. And so you got more rim protection on that Boston side of the ball. Another plus for Boston that Robert Williams is playing this time around. But you have here the Bulls who have played, 3 and 4? What's today?
Nights.
What's today, the 9th?
Today is the 9th, yeah.
Yeah, so they had games. In the new year, they've already played 4 games. They played on the 2nd, the 4th, the 6th, and the 7th. And so,
yeah,
coming off a back-to-back, 1 day rest off a back-to-back.
Yeah,
it's not really too much of a favorable spot. Shooting could be a little off for Boston. It said Bulls are 10-7 ATS with a win percentage over 550, 55%. Okay, so over 55%, 10-7 ATS. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, so that one game that we talked about was a shootout, was 123-119. DeMar had 46 in that game. So take that. I think I like the under in this game.
Yeah.
Maybe
a game starts off fast and we can get a higher under.
Yeah, maybe it's a higher first half. Well, let me see what the first half total is, because sometimes we see games where they have lower totals. First half total is at 116.5. So I would think that they're expecting a higher scoring second half, with the total being 235.5, 236. So that's probably projecting 120 in the second half. But yeah, maybe wait for maybe take a live over if it's a low scoring first half, play it that way. But I think our favorite side here is Chicago at +8.5.
Yeah.
All right, Terrell, anything else for this game at least?
No, let's go.
All right, let's go over to the next game of the night. That's going to be the Spurs at the Grizzlies. Looking at the opening lines for this game, I am currently seeing the Memphis Grizzlies open up as an 11-point home favorite. That number's been bet up to -11.5. Total open up at 236.5. That number is currently sitting at 237 over on WinBet. Checking the injury report for both of these teams. Memphis did play last night. John Morant did not play in that game. I am going to go and assume that he plays tonight because they are in a back-to-back situation. For San Antonio, Keldon Johnson is officially questionable here tonight with the left hamstring tightness. Jakob Poeltl is probable tonight with left Achilles injury. And we know that Devin Vassell is going to be missing some time with a left knee injury. He did have a procedure on it, so he will be out indefinitely for the San Antonio Spurs. Terrell, let's start with the side here. Memphis Grizzlies laying -11, hosting the San Antonio Spurs, who are the worst defensive rated team over the last 10 games, or second worst defensive rated team in the entire association on the road. But what are you liking about this game?
Yeah, I'm not getting cute. Just give me the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
By far the better squad. They're actually putting out one of their more healthy lineups than they've been able to do all season, with Desmond Bain potentially playing in this one, John Morant potentially playing in this one as well. You'll get to see. Does he still play for the Grizzlies? He does
Ooh.
still play for the Grizzlies. Yeah, so you get to see the Jones brothers play each other
Yeah.
tonight. So maybe a fun little prop there. Both of them get decent amount of minutes. If Ja doesn't play, then definitely have a fun day with that. But could be a fun little prop as the brothers try to show each other up. At least Trey does on his side of the ball. But I don't I don't trust this Spurs team. 9-16 against the Western Conference, 7-11 as a road underdog. This is a spot where they just lay down and they just go full tank mode against the Western Conference on the road as an underdog, laying a big number. They just typically lay down in these spots. I think that this is a game where the Memphis Grizzlies get whatever they want. You have Triple J on the inside defending the paint. You have Adams going to be battling with Jakob for boards. I don't see any aspect of the game where I can feel good about the Spurs more than it could be just a day that their stars are hot. But I don't even like that because everybody's not playing in this one. No Devin Vassell in this game. Sochan has been up and down the season. He's been a lot better recently, but yeah, I'm not in the spot where I want to go ahead and back the Spurs, especially with a questionable tag on Keldon Johnson.
Yeah, and John Moran has had plenty of success against this Spurs team, at least over the last 4 games in his career. I had just those numbers in front of me.
It's like 40s. He's scoring like 40s against the Spurs.
Yeah, 30, 41, 52, and 32 in the matchup earlier this season, where it was in San Antonio. It did go to overtime where Grizzlies pulled off the victory there by 2 points, but that was a game where, again, Keldon Johnson played and Devin Vassell played. But now you're possibly at least going to be missing one guy for sure in Devin Vassell here tonight, and Keldon Johnson.
Too.
Yeah.
I can't take that chance with that. I'll take the 11.5 while I was here now.
Yeah, and Grizzlies at home. I mean, they've been very profitable ever since John Moran and they put that squad together. So not much to think about here. Minus 11.5, or sorry, minus 11 right now for Memphis. Total in this game here, Terrell. We're currently seeing it at.
Wait, do they have a back-to-back next game?
Who? Memphis?
Yeah.
No, because they played last night. They played last night. Remember?
Okay, all right.
So I don't think Steven Adams played in that game either. So I would expect both those guys to play here tonight. Let me see if San Antonio has a back-to-back. No. So they play again. Both these teams play again on Wednesday in Memphis. So both they have the home and home here. Do the Memphis Grizzlies against the Spurs?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I'm still in Memphis. Normally, I would take the dog in the first spot. Hopefully, they get an upset and then come back on the favorite. But would I take the 11.5 even if Ja doesn't play? I probably would because at this point you're getting Tyus Jones. I think Tyus Jones is going to have a game. If you give Tyus Jones the minutes against his brother and both of these teams, and they have full assorted cast, I think I would still take the 11.5.
Yeah. Obviously that number will. I think it's counting that Ja does play in this game with 11.5.
Yeah, it's going to go down. It's going to go down. Yeah, it'll go down if he doesn't play. If Ja doesn't play, I love Tyus Jones' assist. Love his assist this game. He could be in double territory if Ja doesn't play.
Charles asking as well. My question is, why would Ja sit the first half of back-to-back when that was the more challenging team they could have used him for?
Probably just health. Just
yeah.
They
played Utah yesterday, right?
Yeah.
They still got the victory there. I mean, look, we've seen over the past. I mean, going back to last season, where this Memphis team still plays well without John Moran in the lineup. I mean, I think they just have those guys in the line. They just play well. Kind of breaking news here, Terrell. Nets star Kevin Durant out at least 2 weeks with an MCL sprain.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, now it's Kyrie Irving season. Now we'll see if.
I think I'm on TJ Warren for the next 2 weeks.
Yes. That's a
I
good
think I'm
call.
on TJ Warren. Yeah, I feel good about TJ Warren for the next 2 weeks. So let's go with that.
Yeah. All right. Anything else for Spurs and Grizzlies?
No, I'm good.
All right. 2 games left on the schedule here. Let's go with the next game. The Lakers are in the Mile High City to take on the Denver Nuggets. Looking at the opening lines for this game, I'm currently seeing the Denver Nuggets opened up as an 8.5 point favorite. That number's up to -10 now for the Denver Nuggets. Total opened up at 240. That number's been bet up to 241.5 currently over on WinBet. Excuse me. Looking at the injury report for both these teams, let's start here with the Lakers. LeBron James probable here tonight. They continue to be without Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker Jr. Lonnie Walker the fourth in this game. Russell Westbrook is also probable here tonight. And Troy Brown Jr. is questionable here tonight with a left quad sprain. For the Denver Nuggets, pretty clean injury report. Jeff Green is going to be out with the left finger injury. But other than that, everybody is a go in this game for the Denver Nuggets. Terrell, let's start with the side here. Currently seeing over on WinBet, the Denver Nuggets are a 10-point favorite against the LA Lakers.
I'll let you start because I think everybody understands at this point that I think this is just a phase for Denver. I do not think they can keep up this style of basketball for long. Like,
I think for me, what's kind of been the theme for this Lakers team has been they've been really good in the first half, and then they kind of just tail off in the second half of the game, whether that's because LeBron is just running out of gas or whatever the case might be. Because you kind of take a look at it in the first half spread, the Lakers are 6-4 over their last 10 games against the spread. But also Denver has been pretty good in early in games as well. In the last 10 away games, Lakers in the first half 6-4 against the spread. Same thing overall in their last 10. But Denver at home in the first half as well, 6-4. So I think this is a game where the Lakers are in it in the first half, but I just think it might just be too much for the Lakers in the second half. Then the Denver Nuggets kind of impose their will on this Lakers team and they kind of pull away. I kind of see it playing out that way. So being in the Mile High City, is that going to be more of an effect for a guy like LeBron who plays well early in the games and then like I mentioned kind of tails off? I would probably look at Lakers first half against the spread. And then you probably get a better number live on the Denver Nuggets if they are down early in the first half or they're only up by a bucket, maybe get a better live number. So I like the Lakers early in this game. I'll take the Lakers first half. As far as full game, I'll probably lay the points here with the Denver Nuggets. It's a square play, but I just feel like there's just too much for like who's going to stop Jokic in this game. I don't know. Is it Thomas Bryant?
but I
Is
mean,
it LeBron?
who's stopping Braun?
You
That's
could
what
throw
I don't get. Like the Lakers, number one team in points in the paint in the past 5 games, 65.2 of their points come in the paint in the past 6 games on average.
Yeah.
The Nuggets, they're not at the bottom when you're talking about opponents' points in the paint. So they're not at the bottom. They're still pretty far down, 21. They give up 54.4 points in the paint. I mean, even I don't know. I don't know how. I think there's going to be points. At this point, I think there's going to be points. And it's just going to be points galore because nobody's going to be able to stop anybody. But you're giving me 10 points and you're telling me that the best thing that the Lakers do, you're subpar at it? Because the Lakers are one of those teams that you got to make them shoot on the outside. There was a whole stretch of the season where we were flaming the Lakers because they couldn't make over 30% of their threes. Yeah. So now you're telling me that the best thing they do, which is get to the rim, penetrate, and be able to score there, and you can't. You're subpar at that. I just don't know if I can lay 10 points with that.
Actually,
that
you know
alone.
What? I'm gonna go with you on the Lakers. I'm looking at the game log. 2 games, or this is going to be the fourth.
The
match
Lakers typically beat them because they can't stop them on the inside.
They've beat them. So the last 2 games, Lakers won 126-108, and then 121-110. And now you're getting 10.5 points or 10
and
points.
I think
with
one
of
those games might have been somebody out for the Nuggets, but that's it.
Let me double check here. So the one game in LA, 121-110, Lakers won. Jokic played, KCP, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. all played. Anthony Davis played obviously in that game. He had 23 and 12. Sorry, 23 and 15. Everybody played in that game. Let me check the previous game here. The 108, 126. Murray, Jokic, Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon. So they didn't have MPJ. And Anthony, I think that was the game where Anthony Davis left because he only played 17 minutes in that game, but Lakers still won that game.
But listen to Russ's game log the past couple games against Denver. You have 19 and 5, 21, 27 and 10, 18, 8 and 8, and then 15, 11 and 12. In his past 3 games against them. I mean, 4 games against them. That's 4 games in the Lakers. That's his stat line. Mm-hmm. Never scored under 15. He's been able to get rebounds, get assists. And what was he shooting? 38%, 50%, 73%, 46%. I don't know, man. If you let Russ be able to kill you, I don't know what you're going to be able to do to win this game. Not even just win the game, cover 10. I don't think that they cover 10. Give me the Lakers plus 10. I'll take the Lakers on the money line. This is it's the Lakers, so I feel like everybody always bets the Lakers, but this seems like a bad spot for me for the Nuggets laying this many points.
I'm all over Thomas Bryant player props here tonight.
He's got to be out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been in the starting lineup over his last 5 games. He's averaging 32.3 minutes per game. He's averaging 21.2 points and 13.6 rebounds. He's had 13 or more rebounds in 4 of the last 5 games. He's had a double-double in 4 of the last 5 games. He only fell 1 rebound short of making it 5 straight double-doubles. And right now I'm seeing his double-double prop at... It has to be plus odd because his rebounding prop is at 8.5 right now. So Thomas Bryant is at plus 120. And in a previous matchup against the Nuggets this season, he had 21 points.
Yeah.
I'm all over Thomas Bryant here tonight. Yeah, you convinced me. I'm going to go Lakers here with you as well. I mean, it just seems like they can't stop this Lakers team. I know Anthony Davis is not there, but I think Thomas Bryant has done a really good job in place of Anthony Davis in his absence with the injury. So Lakers team total over might be worth a look here as well, Terrell.
I'm just trying to find. I mean, what's today, the 9th? So 2 days rest for the Nuggets. Okay. I mean, the Lakers are coming off a day of rest as well. They played 3. This would be 3 and 4. So that is what you can say goes bad for the Lakers, that they're playing 3 and 4. But yeah. I feel like if we're still on that Lakers first half this game, we have a pretty good shot.
Yeah. All right. Any other player props you're looking at in this game?
No. Russ. I'm on Russ. I'm on Thomas Bryant with you. I got to be on Jokic. If they're even in this game, and this game is even remotely close, Jokic has to go off for them. So I'll be on Jokic as well. Yeah, and maybe KCP. Maybe.
Yeah, Jokic rebounds are at 11.5, and then his points are anything under 26.5. You have to take the over. I see that at 27.5. But I still think he has a big game against the Lakers. I know Thomas Bryant is probably going to be matched up on him, but I don't think Thomas Bryant has enough to slow him down. Let me just quickly see his game log before we get to the last game. 25 and 11, 23 and 14, 31 and 13, 38 and 18. So I think that 11.5 rebounds are a little conservative here tonight as well. So definitely, I mean, with a total at 241 in this game, you have to look at overs because, again, the books are expecting a shootout. But yes, those are some of the player props we're looking at. All right, Terrell, anything else for this game before we get to the last one?
Do you see a line on Jamal Murray?
What are you looking for?
Points prop.
Jamal Murray points is 18.5.
How has he been to that number recently? 18, 18, 14, 14, 25. So he's it's kind of around. I don't know. I feel like Jamal Murray could struggle today with Patrick Beverley.
He had 23 and 21 in the 2 matchups earlier this season. And 13. Right. So, yeah. Okay. All right.
Look, yeah, I'm sorry. I ain't got to play that one.
All right, let's get over to the last game of the night. That's going to be between the Orlando Magic. They're going to Sacktown to take on the Kings. Looking at the opening lines for this game, this number opened up -6 in favor of the Sacramento Kings. That number has pretty much stayed the course at -6. Total opened up at 238.5. That number's been bet down now to 238.5 to 237. Let's look at the injury report for both of these teams. Let's start here with the Orlando Magic. Bol continues to be out with he's in health and safety protocols. RJ Hampton is on G League assignment. Jonathan Isaac continues to be out, and Chuma Okeke is also out for this game. For the Sacramento Kings, pretty clean injury report. Nobody is on there for them. Everybody is a go. Terrell, let's start with the side here, my man. -6 is what I'm seeing right now in favor of the Sacramento Kings hosting the Orlando Magic.
Oh, might be a lock. This might be my lock for the day. I'm 100% for fading the Magic off a win against the Golden State Warriors. I'm all the way here for that. I think that this is immediately could be a letdown spot. This is a spot where everybody has now come in, started betting Orlando a lot. And I mean, we're still not ignoring the fact that Sacramento is still they're still a pretty decent team. 11-9 straight up at home. 13-5 as a favorite. ATS is a little bit different. So laying 6 is risky, but I think this is a spot where they've lost the last 2 games at home. 2 games they felt like they really could have had. Like they feel like you felt like you could have had that game against the Lakers. You feel like you could have had that game against the Hawks. 2 teams that typically don't play that well on the road either. And so you feel like you lost 2 close ones. I think this is a game where they get out quick and just try to maintain a lead over the course of the entire game, especially against the Magic, who, again, let down City after beating the Warriors on the road. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't get too many wins in Chase Center. So I think that this is one where De'Aaron Fox and company can still bounce back and have a really good one. I think they're the better team. I'll take the Kings -6.
Yeah, these 2 teams matched up earlier this season where it was in Orlando. Sacramento got that victory 126-123. And again, coincidentally, that was a game after the Magic beat the Golden State Warriors. But this game did go into overtime. Let's see here. De'Aaron Fox in that game, 37 points for the Kings. It seems like everybody is back for, obviously, with the suspensions and everything that happened for the Orlando Magic. But yeah, I mean, we've been high on the Sacramento team all season long. I think they took an L in their last game against the Lakers, right? Yeah, that was the other night. They've lost 3 out of the last 4 games, have the Sacramento Kings. I think this is an opportunity for them to kind of get a winning streak started because they have Orlando here tonight. Then they have Houston back-to-back, and they have San Antonio. So there's an opportunity to get some wins in their belt. I think it starts here tonight against the Orlando Magic. So the one thing that does concern me is maybe the length inside, but it doesn't really pay dividends for them with Wendell Carter Jr. and those guys inside because they still give up a lot of points inside the paint, especially a team that we think that has, length inside. The one thing that also concerned me is Sacramento, number 29 in points in the paint allowed. 29 out of 30 teams were given about 55 points inside the paint. I think Sacramento gets the victory here, Terrell, but I think Orlando can keep it close. I'll disagree about this game. I think Orlando covers the spread, but I think Sacramento wins outright. So I'll take Orlando +6, but I do think that Sacramento gets the victory here tonight, maybe by 4 points here tonight. Player props in this game here, Terrell, what do you like?
Starters is talking about it in chat. De'Aaron Fox points, rebounds, and assists over 35.5. He's had over 43 in his past 4. Great look there. That's a really good play. I like that. I might actually tell you on that because I do like De'Aaron Fox today. I think De'Aaron Fox has the ability to get to the rim. He has the ability to shoot on the outside and really be a thorn in the side of Markelle Fultz and Cole Anthony and everybody else in that backcourt. So I think that could be a really good De'Aaron Fox game. And I feel like Banchero, like it just seems like he's not consistent enough where you can see his points set at 20 and a half and know that, okay, he's going to go over that, no doubt.
Mm.
Like, you'll always look at Paulo Banchero and be like, oh, he has a really good matchup in this one. But then you'll go back and look at the box score, and he shot inefficiently and finished with 17 points.
I'll say this: in that game in Orlando against the Kings, he played 40 minutes. Again, this went into overtime, but he had 33 points and 16 rebounds in that game.
Yeah, I mean, he's been good, 25, 30, 25, 21. It just feels like when I get on him, he doesn't get there. But this should be a spot where he's able to score. One, able to get to the rim, points in the paint, and talking about the Kings. He should be able to get have his way and get to the rim. He's a guy that when you watch him play, he doesn't go out there and just get ticky-tack fouls or, he's open for buckets. Like, he's down there battling with people, getting grown man buckets. So I know he's burnt me in the past, but I like Paulo Banchero, man. He really should have a game regardless.
All right. Yeah, I agree about Fox. I think he should have a big game here tonight. Back-to-back games against the Magic, where he's put up 30 plus.
Markelle Fultz should be a good look for assists today, with the Magic being not Magic, but the Spurs, not Spurs. Jesus Christ. Can I talk about the right team, please? Yeah, can I talk about the right team? Like, come on. It must be really early on the East Coast this week. All right.
5.5 at even money.
With the Kings. Yeah. Yeah, 5.5 at even money against the Kings, who struggle with points in the paint. All you have to do is get some penetration, be able to find a cutter, find an open guy when you get inside the paint after you've been killing them all day. I think Markelle Fultz could have a pretty good assist day. So give me Markelle Fultz over 5.5 assists.
All right. Anything else for this game?
No, I'm good.
All right, before we get into our lock and dog here for tonight, let me tell you guys about a contest for the NBA Gambling Podcast. Yes, it's our turn now. We're doing a special basketball bingo giveaway for all the games happening on MLK Day, which is next Monday for Martin Luther King Day. All you have to do is, number one, subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe. If you're in there right now, do us a favor, hit that like button for us. I see how many people are on the screen right now, Terrell. 32 of you watching.
Yeah, 32.
Yeah,
do us a favor. There's no likes up there.
Yeah. So all you gotta do to enter this contest is subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast YouTube page, and then the sign up link is gonna be in the app. I believe that will be put in either today or tomorrow. But again, to qualify, what you gotta do, like the YouTube page here for the NBA Gambling Podcast, and then go to the SGPN app. Once the link is in there, you can sign up for the bingo contest. It's $100 gift card for every person that gets bingo on the MLK Day games next Monday. So you have about a week to get into that contest. The link will be in the app. Just I'll make sure that Sean and Ryan get it in there today so you guys can sign up. But again, make sure to qualify for it, you have to be subscribed to the NBA Gambling Podcast YouTube page.
And it's about time. About time. Gonna do a NFL bingo contest on Christmas. Come on now. Like, that was the ultimate marketing ploy. Oh, NBA Christmas. Everybody's watching NBA Day. We should do a bingo contest. We had to go in here, scratch claw, and plead for a bingo contest on MLK Day. It just, I don't know. It's crazy. 4 for 33 on likes in the video. We're shooting 12% from the field right now, but shooters shoot. So I think we can get more likes by the end of the episode.
All right, Terrell, let's get into our lock and dog here for tonight. For my lock, give me the Milwaukee Bucks. It's at a pick right now, so just take the money line. Minus 115 is what I'm seeing right now, currently over on WinBet. I think not having RJ Barrett in this game is going to be a problem for the New York Knicks, because he had 2 great games against the Milwaukee Bucks earlier this season, where he had 25 and 26 in one game, or 25 and 26 in one game. They had 20 in the other game. Jrue Holiday being in this game is huge. We talked about his matchup with Jalen Brunson. He should be able to slow him down. Bobby Portis coming off the bench, Giannis, Brook Lopez, different bodies to throw at a guy like Julius Randle. So I think that there's an opportunity for Bucks to go in. Giannis coming to town into Madison Square Garden. Like Terrell likes to say, that everybody just turns into Michael Jordan, or wants to play like Michael Jordan when they get to the Mecca in Madison Square Garden. So I think the Bucks can get the victory here. I'll take them on the money line at minus 115. For my dog here tonight, I'm gonna go with a player prop, man. He's been cashing for me. Thomas Bryant double at plus 120. I can't get away from it. He's had double doubles in 4 of the last 5 games where it's been kind of sweat free. He was 1 rebound away against the Miami Heat, posting 5 straight double doubles. And he's done a great job filling in for Anthony Davis in that span since he's been on the sideline with that injury. And like I mentioned, over the last 5 games for Thomas Bryant, he's averaging 32 minutes per game. He's averaging 21.2 points. More importantly, 13.6 rebounds for the LA Lakers. And again, in one matchup earlier this season against the Denver Nuggets, off the bench in 24 minutes, he scored 21 points and 6 rebounds. So he's seen an uptick in minutes. He's rebounding the basketball well for them. No reason why he cannot get another double-double here tonight at plus 120. So I will go with a player prop as my dog. Thomas Bryant plus 120 to get a double-double. Terrell, what do you got for your lock and dog, my man?
All righty here. For my lock, let's go with... I think it's that easy. I'll just take Memphis. Give me Memphis minus 11.5.
All right.
I'm assuming Ja's going to play in this game. I think Memphis is going to have a full cast. These 9 and 16 against the Western Conference are the Spurs, 7 and 11 on the road. This is really, really bad basketball we're seeing. I think Memphis cleans them up, gets them out of here early. For my dog, let's just do it. Yeah, Lakers plus 350 on the money line.
All right.
Denver's given it up to the Lakers before. Why should this be any different? So plus 350 for the Los Angeles. Matter of fact, no, let's not do that because Lakers been so good. Plus 240 for the first half. So I can get plus 240 in the first half and then be out of there and not even have to worry about the Lakers blowing the game. I'll take Lakers first half plus 240.
All right. All right, so just to recap, my lock is going to be the Bucks money line minus 115. Terrell's lock is the Memphis Grizzlies minus 11.5. Again, make sure if Ja Morant's in the game. Terrell, you still like it without Ja Morant? Obviously, the line will go down, but you still like it with Ja Morant if he doesn't go tonight?
I'll call my shot. And take the 11.5 even if he doesn't play.
All right. And then for my dog, Thomas Bryant, double plus 120. And for Terrell, first half money line for the LA Lakers at plus 240. All right. That's going to do it for this edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast. Again, give us a like on the stream right now if you're watching. And make sure to get into that contest for the NBA Gambling Podcast for the MLK Day games next week. It's a bingo card. Games all throughout the day, but more importantly, honoring the legacy and the life of Martin Luther King Jr. In the NBA, and again, not only in the NBA but across the world. Man, he just made just a great impact for a lot of people in the world.
Who do the Hawks play? They only play the Heat. I was wishing they was playing like somebody really.
Are they at
good.
Home?
Yeah, well, it's MLK Day. The Hawks
they're always at
home.
Yeah,
but I wish it was somebody really, really good. We could have got them at some nice plus money price.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow in some form or fashion for the NBA Gambling Podcast. So look out for that. Usually we go around the same time. You guys know how we do it. Teron, anything else you want to get off your chest before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. Everybody have a great day.
All right. Good luck with your bets here tonight. Let's break these books off and let it ride.